We are live. Welcome to my video. This is going to be my thoughts on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, Episode 2, Window of Opportunity. The episode is rated TV 14, so will this video be? Let's see. As with all videos I've done on this show, there will be spoilers for this episode and the MCU leading up to it. And yeah, love this episode like I've loved all the episodes of the show so far, and most things MCU and MCU adjacent in general. Let's dive right in. So I will say I believe I forgot to make this joke in the previous in my video on the previous episode. When I first saw the truck, I was wondering if we were dealing with Unisols. Now, and in this episode, when I saw it turn invisible, my first thought was going to be another car is going to crash into it on the road. Like, I get what they're going for. I kind of feel like if the truck had changed appearance, maybe. But the fact that it's invisible and driving around on the same road as everybody else, yeah. I feel like a cloaking device works better if you're flying or if you're like an individual sneaking around or something, but a car on the road, yeah. Did appreciate it. It kind of made me think of like the Protoss cloaking, and that gun that all these names. I'm gonna see if I can find Pax. The gun that Pax raises also reminded me of like 90s FPS. I can't place the exact one. Maybe I'm thinking of like let's see, was it in Doom 1? It's certainly in Doom 2, the plasma rifle, you know. Anyway, yeah, I think they're doing a good job sowing the seeds. Like, clearly Pax is a potential problem for Sarge and the others. And let's see, I think that does bring us nicely to, yeah, it was cool watching them just acclimate to Earth. You know, yeah, they go into a convenience store, which, by the way, last time, you know, Phil Coulson was in one of those and there was like a tense standoff. He was much nicer about it. I like the detail that they got DNA from the leftover slush ice. I forget what those things were called, especially in English. I order one nearly every time I go to the movies, but I'm not sure we use the same word for it as y'all Americans do. Now, let's see. Here in Denmark, it's slush ice. Unless I've been ordering it wrong all this time, and they're just like, whatever, he's a paying customer. Anyway, yeah, and Snowflake just knocking stuff off the rack, like, okay. And she's really obsessed with people turning into butterflies. But yeah, you know, some of them, they'll just pick something up, put it in their pocket or the bag or something. And let's see, yeah, I like Sarge keeps talking about, you know, in situations like this, you might want to be a hero. And let's see, yeah, genuinely clever that, yeah, you know, the PEGs were all in Tinker's pocket. They left the PEGs on the pocket. In his pockets. And the pockets are cement! And yeah, you know, for a while we, the audience, are like, what are they talking about? Or apparently, let's see, according to IMDb trivia, yeah, apparently it is a thing. So fair enough. Maybe some people heard and were like, oh, PEGs, finally, it's, you know, my special interest pays off. But yeah, I didn't know. I'm sure a lot of others did not either. And I will say the Diamond Heist really had like an Alias vibe. Not the first time for this show, but yeah. We're just breaking into your safe? Yeah, I'm not gonna do the accent. Let's see, but yeah, I like the thing with, paper money. Just, what are they on? Let's see, and I think that might, yeah, I really liked how, yeah, for a while it's like a charm offensive. He's like, the way he's talking to Dana. I also like he couldn't tell. He thinks it's Dana, which, yeah, English, the English language, there's a lot of words that are pronounced different from what you think based on their spelling. But yeah, for a while it's that, and then by the end, he says, "Oh yeah, we're robbing this place, so watch your heartbeat." And then we have the let's see, they go to the yeah, they get into the vault, and the thing, you are a hero. Fortunately for you, we need you. And they get into the vault and destroy the door. And very, very clever with the, he uses the device thing, and then they have like a doorway between the room and the truck, which is used very nicely in the fight. Loved seeing, another great May fight scene. And, yeah, some of them like knocking people back and forth through the doorway between the two, nicely done. They're thinking with portals. Let's see. I think that might more or less... Right, I love the thing about, you're standing there with so many diamonds. It's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. What else do you want? You care about these things? And he just throws them like they're nothing. I love that. I really appreciate... I think we should just... It's something that needs to be repeated until it really sinks in. Diamonds only have the value that we human beings give them. And the higher the value we give them, the more horrible things are done to get more diamonds. So if we could just get to a point where we don't think that they're, the bee's knees, because, like, there are things that have inherent value, healthy food, clean air, clean water. Some might say that these things should in fact be considered basic human rights and guaranteed to everyone, regardless of their status and, how much money they have. I am one of those people. So yeah, I really appreciate pointing out, yeah, diamonds, they're not really, we just decided. Diamonds are worth a lot of money, I decided. But let's see, yeah, and it turns out it's the, what did she say, topaz and quartz. Actually, when I was younger, when I was like a kid, I did have a phase where I was like obsessed with different kind of stones. So the moment that she said quartz and topaz, it was like, oh wow, the part of my brain that remembers what I was like, what I was super into when I was like 9 years old was, oh right, I haven't thought about those words in so long. Let's see that. Yeah, right. I quite appreciate the matchup. May fighting. It's this thing of like May does like medium damage, but has very high speed, dexterity, and agility. And let's see, I think was it Jaco has very high strength but low speed and agility. So it's a great, yeah. And then, round 2, Snowflake enters, and she's got the little knife, which, we've seen her threaten people with and use several times in the episode. So, yeah, it's paying that off. We know how lethal she is with it, and now she's fighting May. I think that might more or less... Right, I did appreciate... So, Coulson... Sarge doesn't think he's Coulson, but it sounds familiar, and he froze like an antelope in headlights. That's as close as I'm going to get to doing that accent. And those were inflections. I wasn't doing the accent. I realize I should not be doing an African accent. Now, I think that does cover... Yeah, the talk about Keller and cheering him up and who should be cheering him up was quite good. And yeah, you know, the thing about, you know, but that was just yesterday. Yeah, that day, that was yesterday. Today is a different day. I think that does cover every single thing about there. Oh, right. I did like Dr. Benson. You know, please tell me you're not drinking. No, this is for you. That was a nice little misdirect. And I don't think he was lying about that. I think genuinely he was like, you know, and it is like, yeah, they destroyed the last place they went, you know, so, yeah. But yeah, also him, you know, there's the tension is already reaching a boiling point. Him saying, you know, you're lying to me. And saying that May is keeping secrets, that maybe Coulson didn't die, and just like, holy crap. But, you know, one can kind of understand his perspective. He didn't even want this job. He wasn't even supposed to be here today. And then they're like, you know, withholding information. And yeah, the LMD theory did not pan out. I like the thing about, I'd have to talk to, you know, the whatever fool invented these things. And, you know, it's like, that might be difficult. Yeah, I think that covers all the Earth stuff, so I will just briefly say, boy, do I hope that, you know, so the post-credit scene, mid-credit scene, I really hope that them arriving right after Fitz left doesn't mean that it's going to take them forever to find Fitz, that they're going to be looking for Fitz in all the wrong places, but yeah. So happy that Enoch is still around. Yeah, I mean, he can survive some pretty ridiculous things, so even the ship being cut in half like that, yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm going to allow this, because he's just so freaking good. And this episode, he's like, you do of course realize that it would be very difficult for you to... I don't know why I'm making him so British. I can't really do his accent anyway. You know, you realize it would be very difficult to achieve every single positive outcome in this situation. You know, if you stand up for them, you may as well join them in the, you know, yeah, the thing. Back pain making it difficult to focus and talk smart. Do you ever have that feeling where you're worried that what you're going to say isn't going to make any smart, and then, you know, for a while you're okay, and then suddenly out comes the wrong raspberry? Yeah, airlock, that's what it's called. I should probably pretend I was buying time until I thought of that. Anyway, and you know, at the time we're like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty hopeless. And then he does actually join them, and he didn't fight his way out. You know, you don't look like a fighter. He's not. He's an engineer. He's a thinker. He thought his way out of the situation. Very nicely done there. Let's see. I think that does cover... So yeah, we now know... You know, we saw him briefly in the post-credits scene for the season opener of this season. Now we see more of, you know, yeah, he's on this ship. He's an engineer. Or mechanic, something like that. And yeah, he makes the rookie mistake of, you know, oh, I'm from up north, very, very far north. And she's like, did he just say he lived in a highly irradiated area? And this just, like, you hate to see it. It is just, this is Spycraft 101. If you are asked by someone incredulous who's like starting to see through your cover in some way, where did you say you were from again? The exact right answer is somewhere you don't know enough about that your questions could reveal that I'm not really from there, and I left for an unspecified reason of specific, vague something like that amount of time ago. And you know, if you happen to know anyone from the area, there are reasons that they wouldn't remember me. But yeah, let's see. The thing about how he's been hiding Enoch in there, and yeah, you know, their racism actually almost gets them killed because the guy is a, you know, fast. Yeah, he's better at this than they are. And the thing about, you know, he's like, ugh, yeah, I mean, they're a delicacy, but the appearance, like, eesh. And he's been, the eyes was just the disguise. And let's see, yeah, not gonna lie, I kind of love how wonderfully kind of communist this thing is, of like, you know, oh, the guy in charge is treating them really badly, he's gonna just get rid of, like, he's straight up just gonna murder people because he doesn't need their labor anymore. He found someone cheaper and more efficient, and it ends up with them, like with him ending, the guy in charge and his enforcers ending up dead. And now, you know, as long as they go to a different planet, the workers will be just fine. You know, solidarity, and just, yeah, like, it's a, as revolutions go, the guy was hoisted by his own petard. If he hadn't insisted on blowing people out the airlock, he wouldn't have gotten blown out the airlock, you know. So, and the fact that, yeah, Fitz went in there figuring, yeah, the guy's probably gonna use the airlock this way, will save them and myself, and Enoch will be okay there on the outside because of his, you know, special traits. You know, no human would be able to hold on to those, but he's got that alien DNA under the flesh suit. Let's see, I feel like there was at least one more thing. I do appreciate that they thank him, and they're, you know, they didn't really apologize for being racist against him, but even so. I did, let's see, is there anything else? I feel like there's maybe one more thing that I wanted to say about, right, I did appreciate, you know, Fitz is like, I couldn't see, I couldn't look Gemma in the eye again if I let them die. And that might be, yeah, I did think that when the controller, you know, said to Fitz, "You're still just a filthy liar," that he should have followed up with, "Take a bath and stand up